Okay, so let's move on to your show for a second. So you cover a lot of very interesting topics. I was looking at the titles of some of them.
The titles.
Some of them are, the standard, the cheaters, and the this and that.
Yeah, which I love doing.
I'm sure.
Because it's easy.
Yeah.
And nobody's, when we...
Nobody gets hurt.
But then when we do the child
but...
molestation and stuff,
yeah.
I feel like I'm a cop again. I got to investigate this. And it is emotionally wearing, right?
Yeah. Okay. So that's what I was going to ask, because some of those titles are very, they're triggering for a lot of people. So when you're dealing with first of all, how do you guys come up with those topics? Because those are going to be ones you have to spend more time on.
Again, my wife is my executive producer. Mm-hmm. She calls all the shots on what shows we're going to do and but again,
do those do well in the ratings?
Unfortunately, the ones that everybody wants to see, those do the best. And what's shocking is when we were in Chicago, I used to greet all the fans that came to the show. Yeah. After the show, I would shake everybody's hand because that's what Jerry would do, so I did it too. Mm-hmm. And people would just half the audience would come up and be like, I was molested. And even when meet people in today, and I'm like, it's shocking to me how many people have been sexually assaulted as children in this country. And I think that's why those stories are so popular, because I think a lot of people relate to them.
Right. Absolutely. It's terrible.
Yeah.
How many times do you think that you have done a show where it's resulted in an arrest?
I couldn't give you an exact number, but it's happened quite a few times.
Really?
Yeah, I couldn't give you an exact number.
And is that because you guys have done enough research that you get the evidence, or it's because they are dumb enough
It's not that we're looking to prosecute people, because we're not. We're a TV show.
No.
But because of the things that people have admitted on stage.
That's what I'm saying. They admit it. Okay.
That we've had law enforcement agencies subpoena us for our records. And listen, they don't even have to subpoena us. We'll gladly cooperate. Mm-hmm. But I think because of legal reasons, we have to wait till we get subpoenaed.
Yeah.
A lot of people, because of what they've either admitted, failed lie detector tests, a lot of it's been used in court and people have been prosecuted. Because
of your instincts as a cop, sometimes are you on air and you didn't even realize this is going to be a problem now, the stuff that I'm hearing? I mean, are you pretty ready for anything you hear and know what's coming?
I mean, listen, even after all these years and after being a policeman and the Springer show and my show, people say, are you ever surprised anymore? And I say, oh, no, I'm not. But you are. There's always something that comes down the pike. You're like, okay, we never have done this before.
Is there one that stands out to you that you were most shocked in?
Well, one that was very shocking was we had this a mother and daughter on our show, and the mother thought that the daughter was poisoning her. And the daughter was this very beautiful young girl who looked sweet, angelic looking, and talking, like she was just a sweet girl. And the mother's like, that bitch is poisoning me, I know she's poisoning me. Well, we gave the girl a lie detector test and she failed.
No way.
She had been pouring bleach, small amounts of bleach, into her mother's orange juice. And the mother went crazy and she picked up, there was I do my show. I don't look around the stage, but I guess for years there was a chest on the back of my stage with a metal bowl, and she ran over and saw the metal bowl and she picked it up. She went to throw it at her daughter, and she cracked me right in my eye with the bowl. I thought, shot again on my stage. and went down like a ton of bricks, and then they were all just like, "Ooh, you're going to jail! You're going to jail!" And and I was like, I couldn't believe my head didn't split open.
Oh my gosh.
And then my mother, that's a Freudian slip. My wife came running over and she's like, are you okay? I go, I'm fine. We finished the show. And it was funny. I was in my green room and the lawyers came in. They're like, don't worry, we're going to cut all that out. I go, you better not cut that out. And I go, in fact, you should send that woman a dozen roses, because I go, I know this is going to be the highest rated show ever. And it was.
And it was.
It was the highest rated show
And what happened to the daughter? Did she go to jail?
No, because she was a juvenile. I think she was 16 at the time. And that's a great question, and we need to update that show.
Do you do updates?
Yeah,
do you bring people on?
We definitely try. The bigger, more shocking stories we've done, people always want to know what happened.
Right.
So we have stories that we've updated, but I don't think we've ever done. Oh, I think the reason why we haven't updated that one, we've been in contact with the mother, but we can't get a hold of the daughter.
Oh, okay.
And that's why we haven't updated.
And she doesn't speak to the daughter.
She probably, and the daughter probably doesn't want to speak to us.
Right, obviously.
Because we exposed her.
Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm curious about the criticism that both the Jerry Springer Show and yours has gotten.
Listen, and you know what's crazy? I can understand the criticism of the Springer Show. I really can, because, people acting like crazy, the nudity and all that. But if you watch my show, and if you ever read my fan mail, we've helped a lot of people. I get so many messages every day of my life, either on TikTok, Instagram, emails, saying, Steve, watch your show. I got an abusive relationship. You led me to leave my husband because he was beating my ass. I stopped doing drugs because of you. I spoke up against somebody who was sexually abusing me for years. And I'm like, I never thought in a million years that's where the show was going to head and that's what it was going to do. But I'm proud of the fact that we've helped a lot of people get out of bad situations.
Right.
That weren't even on the show, that just watch my show and help them.
Right. I'm curious. So Jerry Springer helped you sort of create the path for your career. Is there someone that you see that path with that you work with now?
I wish. We just don't. I don't, only because, first of all, would I love to take shows off and still get paid? Like, with Jerry? Damn right I would.
Would you go on Dancing with the Stars?
Probably not.
Have you ever asked to?
No, I've never asked, and they've never asked me. If they did ask me, I mean, like anything, I consider all things, but I don't think I'd want to do it.
Are you a good dancer?
I got 2 bad knees. I can barely walk decently.
Oh, gosh.
But yeah, I would love to have that opportunity. One, and to be quite honest, Jerry made money off my show, and if I spun somebody off, I would make money off that show.
Right.
But the truth is, TV's dying.
Yeah.
I don't know how much longer, these formats, this industry is going to last with like daytime talk. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel just came out and said, nighttime talk that's going to be dead in a few years. And,
right.
And who knows if daytime TV is still going to be around.
I was going to ask you about the evolution of what you've seen from when you started to now and where you see it going.
Well, think about this, and how I was saying in the 90s, if you were famous, you were really famous.
Yeah.
Everybody's famous now, right? Social media influencers, everybody's famous. But back in the 90s, you really had to be on something to be really famous.
Yes.
There wasn't TikTok, Instagram, all this stuff. There wasn't social media. Cable was just starting to form. There wasn't streaming services. Mm-hmm. So if you were on ABC, CBS, NBC, you had a show. Even if it wasn't a good show, you probably were going to be famous because people watched.
Right.
And, when you were on a hit show and you were doing, 10, 20 million viewers a day, you're lucky if you get 1 million viewers a day nowadays. Yeah. So, everything has just completely changed. And here's a perfect example. I have a 21-year-old daughter and a 19-year-old son. I don't think either one of them watches a TV. I mean, they watch their phones and they watch TikTok and everything else. They don't watch TV. Like, I sit home and I'll watch TV.
Right.
My kids don't watch TV, and I think all kids are like that. Nobody watches TV.
But you don't see it running out for lack of storylines or lack of things that you could have on?
Hell no.
Okay.
That'll last forever till the sun burns out.
Right.